Americans came across at Niagara on the Lake, their intention was to come through this area, head towards York. No skyway bridge in those days, so they had to go around the bay. That means up to Dundurn Castle area, around that way. Head to York, which is now Toronto, and then on to Montreal. The intention of the Americans was to take Canada, as it was then, over. Okay, they got as far as 40 Mile Creek, which is now Grimsby. Two young fellows, Billy Green and Levi Green, saw them coming, got on their horses, rode up here, told the settlers that lived in this area the Americans were on the way. Now the settlers were, most of them were from the United States that had come up here to get free land. Part of the deal was they had to clear the land. So they didn't want to go back to the United States when the Americans got here. The Americans actually got here, took over this house as their headquarters, and put the Gage family that lived in this house in the basement. There was 10 of them. So you'll see the basement when you go through it. So 10 of them they put in the basement, the Gages. A young fellow, Isaac Corman, got captured and he was taken down to where Confederation Park is now. It wasn't there then, of course, but that was when encampment where the Americans brought goods across the lake to feed the troops. There was 3,000 Americans, 700 British. Outnumbered 4 to 1. Okay? So when the Americans got here, they took this over, and then they captured Isaac. Now Isaac and the Major got talking and found out they're both from the United States, plus they both knew different people and relatives and that. So he said to Isaac, the Major, said, you can go home. He said, how can I go home through the guards? He said, I'll give you the password. The password was Will Henhar. Will Henhar, short form for William Henry Harrison. William Henry Harrison was the United States President at one time, the shortest living president. He only lived 6 months. He died in office. He became sick. So Will Henhar was the password. Isaac Corman's got it. He's coming home to get through the guards going home, to use this the password to get through the guards. Billy Green, being about 18 years of age, knew the woods quite well. He's going through the woods looking for Isaac. Here he's coming home. He said, how'd you get out? He told him the story. He said, hey, you have the password. Let's give it to the British. Now, the British were encamped where Dundurn Castle is now. That's what's called Burlington Heights. If you've ever been there, it's quite high up. You can see the whole bay from there. That's where the British were. So he said, let's give it to the British. Isaac Corman says, no, I promised I wouldn't do that. Billy Green says, hey, give it to me, and I'll give it to the British. So Isaac Corman gave Billy Green the password, Will Henhar. Billy Green got on his horse, tipped, rode up to Dundurn Castle area, told the British what the password was. They didn't believe him at first, but other scouts in the area confirmed his story. He actually led them down during the night. Okay, so we're going to use this young fella. Come on up here, son. Yes, you. Oh, okay. So he's the guard, okay? He's the guard, and I'm coming through. I'm the British, and I'm coming through, and he's the guard, and what do you ask me? What's the password, and what do we say? Will Henhar. And then what do I do with it?
Sorry.
I bayonet them. I don't shoot them, because if I shot them, they would hear the sound all the way down, and then they would know something was wrong. So, but you're still alive. You're okay. Thank you. So that's what would happen is they come down through the line, get to a guard, give the password, and then they go just all the way down. So they made a surprise attack early in the morning here. Remember, 700, 2,000, but the Americans didn't know how many there was. And so when they came in here, they surprise attacked them early in the morning, rooted them out. 2 of the majors of the Americans got captured, plus some of their guns. They took off, headed back to Niagara on the Lake, and then eventually the United States. If they had kept going, we would now be called the USA. That's what it boils down to. That's so important battle took place right here on this land in June the 6th, 1813. So that's your quick history lesson. Billy Green School on the mountain. Some of the children go to that school. It's named after him. My name is actually Billy Green, and I am related to the original Billy Green. That's my grandfather. 5 generations back, but it is my grandfather. So there's your quick history lesson. Make sure you keep 2013 open.
Yes.
Because there's going to be a big do. That's the 200th anniversary of the battle, and it'll be a biggie. So keep that open.